Welcome back and thanks for watching. Today I want to talk to you about the Atheos app. This video is somewhat of a follow-up to the last video I made where I talked about a manual for creating atheists. If you haven't watched that video, I suggest you go and watch that first and then come back here and watch this video. This isn't a paid endorsement, I just like the app. Also, the app is free to download, but to get access to all the content, you'll have to pay $5. But it's going to support free thinkers and skeptics who put a lot of work into the app and who just do a lot of great work in general. But anyway, I really like the app and I find it helpful as a companion to the book I discussed previously. The app was developed to help people hone their skills in street epistemology, which I discussed in the last video, so I'm not going to repeat it here. The app was developed by the author of A Manual for Creating Atheists, Peter Boghossian, and the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science. The Atheos app is set up with 10 levels that the app calls caves, with each level of the cave becoming increasingly difficult. Each level is then broken up into sections, and each section is a collection of similar questions. And basically that's it. You just answer multiple choice questions. Most of the time the questions have 4 choices, and usually a couple of the choices are equally acceptable answers, and the other 2 are incorrect answers. And you can go back through and answer the questions as many times as you like, and your score reflects your most recent attempt. So you can always go back and fix your mistakes. Level 1 of the cave is free, but the other 9 levels require you to pay the $5 for the rest of the content. Each level of the cave has about 100 questions, so there's enough there to try it out and decide if it's worth paying for the rest. And if you do pay the $5, you get, I think, a fairly decent amount of content out of it. Alright, so let's go through and answer some of these questions. So, just starting on the first section of the first cave, the first question is, would you like to learn how to talk to people about religion, gods, and the supernatural? And this one only has 2 options, which are either yes, or screw 'em, people are stupid. There is no way to have a productive conversation with a religious person. And for this one, the answer is supposed to be completely obvious, but in case you pick the wrong answer, it gives you an explanation. And when you pick a correct answer, then it shows you an explanation for all of the answers. Alright, so on to the next question. Are you tired of having conversations when nobody changes their mind? And for this one, we have 4 answers, with the first and last being the correct answers. If, however, you like the other 2 answers, well, that's fine. If what you like doing is causing people frustration, or you just take great pleasure in destroying people's arguments, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But this app probably isn't going to do much for you. If, however, you want to have more constructive conversations with people, then Atheos might come in handy. You'll learn how to ask targeted questions specifically designed to intervene in people's cognitive process, how to lower people's defense postures, and how to help people value changing their mind. This is accomplished by pulling from a wide range of cutting-edge literature in psychology, applied philosophy, cold exiting, criminology, and even theology. And for the final question of this section, do people lead better lives when they're more reflective and less dogmatic about their beliefs? And this one also has 2 correct answers, the first and the last. Not all of them are phrased as questions because the exercises are meant to simulate things that people would say in actual conversations. So, for example, what do you say when you're talking to someone who tells you, God revealed himself to me? The first answer is, of course, a joke. And if you're talking to a close friend, this might be okay, if you know they're going to get the humor and you know that the whole conversation won't be sidetracked. But if you're just talking to some random person, this is probably going to get really off topic. As for the third answer, you're essentially just calling the person crazy, so probably also not a very good idea. And the 2 correct answers are essentially just asking the other person why they believe it. Alright, let's try out another one. I'm not crazy, I know when God's talking to me. And the two incorrect answers are both pretty funny. These 2 sentences are contradictory, they can't both be true. And I suppose, when you're being stupid, too. Neither of these answers are entirely false, but you're probably going to piss off a lot of people if you go around talking to them like this. But, if that's what you want to do, go right ahead. Of course, the correct answers are the ones where you just ask questions. Can you explain how you concluded beyond a doubt that God is the cause of these experiences, or how can you be absolutely sure you're not mistaken? The thing to keep in mind is that the incorrect answers are generally things that are going to stop the conversation. Insulting the other person or becoming argumentative, these are generally things that aren't very convincing. However, asking questions and keeping the conversation going, getting the other person thinking, these are the things that the app considers the correct answers. I feel God in my soul. The first two answers here essentially are just telling the person that they're wrong, and the next two, the correct answers, are ones where you're just asking them how they know they're right. The third answer is particularly interesting because it's John Loftus's outsider's test for faith. Other people in other religions say the same things about their gods. How do you know which one you feel, if any? And I find it rather remarkable how many people are thrown off by this question. It seems to be that a lot of people don't hold their own beliefs to the same standards that they hold other people's beliefs to. Here's one from YouTuber Aaron Raw from his talk, Faith is Not a Virtue. So, what do you do when someone tells you faith is a virtue? Well, for starters, ask them what they mean. Keep in mind, this isn't the end of the conversation, it's just the beginning. It's going to require a lot more work than just one question to get a person to value reason over faith. But with enough practice and persistence, it can be done. And the increasingly difficult scenarios in the app help to accomplish this by building a framework for which to build a constructive and meaningful dialogue. There's also a resources section where you can go and find all the different works that the app draws its research from. This includes literature from Ayaan Hirsi Ali, Jerry Coyne, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Michael Shermer, and Peter Boghossian himself, as well as many others. And even if you don't like the app for any other reason, the resources section provides a nice database of work from various freethinkers. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple app, and unfortunately it does cost a little to get all the content, but like I said, it's a fairly decent price for a fairly large amount of content. And the app can be both useful and entertaining. It can help you have more constructive dialogues with people, but also some of the answers are really funny, especially when it's something completely ridiculous, but it's something you've heard in real life. Things like, quantum physics proves that God exists, or dark matter proves that God exists. You know these are true because, all the best scientists are believers. And then there's, you're only an atheist because you don't care about the truth. Or similarly, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. And then there's, I thought that atheism is just an excuse for homosexuality. I'm not gay. Alright, I've never heard that one before. So that's pretty much it. I'll leave a link in the description in case you're interested in downloading the app. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Also, like this video, share it everywhere, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching.